all about the vertical line test. So yesterday we did mapping, so it was determining if it was a function based on what points we were given. Today we're going to actually look at graphs and be like, are you a function? So before we get into that, I want to point out just how much awesome work we've done. So we've done ordered pairs in the past, and we actually used them again for yesterday's mapping. We've done tables, we've done the graphing. So we've really looked at all the different ways we can represent a function. So what we're going to focus on today is like when we're looking at a graph, how can we identify just with our eyes if it's in fact a function? And that's the vertical line test. Let's review some notes. X is also known as the input domain and is on the x-axis. Or it's looking at the values of the x-axis, I should say. Y is the output, the range, and it's looking at the values of the y-axis. X and Y, put them together, that's your ordered pair. That's down here. I jumped ahead. I apologize. Functions. A function is when each input, domain, x, all the same thing, has one and only one output, range, or y. Also, f of x, we're going to talk about that in the future, though. So we have the ordered pair. Represents a point's coordinates, the location of the point on the graph. So we know this. We've done this. The vertical line test. This is the mystery to us. So the vertical line test is a visual way to test to make sure a graph is representing a function where each x has only one y. So this is how we do it. 1, examine the graph. Making vertical, that's an up and down lines all along the visual graph. Determine if the vertical line passes through the graph more than once. If it only crosses all points of the graph only once, it's a function. If it crosses the graph more than once, 2, 3, 103 times, it is not a function because that means that input has more than one output. It's a lot. I recognize that. But let's look at some examples. So in this case, we am looking on the one on the left, this kind of like nice little like uphill, downhill major climb. This is a function. So the dotted blue lines are representing the vertical line. And at any point I draw a vertical line, it only passes through once. And I don't have to just stick to what this picture shows. I could do it here. I could do it in between. It doesn't make a difference. Anywhere I draw a line based on the visual graph, it's not going to pass this purple line more than once. So it's definitely a function. Now let's look at this guy. It has kind of this S curve, suspicious. So looking at just this one line, it crosses not once, not twice, but 3 times. That means it cannot be a function. So now let's think about what this actually means. So one input has only one output. One x has only one y. So let's look at these two next to each other, saying that this here and this was the x value of 2. X value of 2 on the left only went through here, and we'll say it went through at 4. So that would be 2, 4, would that be that coordinate point, for example. Now let's look at this one. We're saying that x equals 2 still, and it crossed here, so that'd be like 2, 1. It crossed here, that'd be 2, 3, and it crosses up here, that's like 2, 5. So it has, that x of 2 has a 1, a 3, and a 5. So that means it has 3 y's. That one input, that 2, has 3 output. Therefore, it cannot be a function. And this is what we were looking at yesterday when we were doing mapping. This would be a non-function in mapping, but now we can just look at it and say it's not a function. Another point I want to make. I can make a vertical line right over here. It only passes through once. I can make a vertical line over here. It also only passes once. So it's up to you to find that sneaky suspicious area and make sure it only cuts through once there too. In this case, because we have this nice smooth S, we know it will cut through 3 times. So for your practice, you're going to say if it's a function or not a function, only these 2 responses. And if it's not a function, I really do want to hear why you know it's not a function. This is written out. I'm not going to go over this one. These are your examples. I'm not going to go over them. I'm not going to go over those. I'm not going to go over those. I am going to go over this one. Number 7, let's look at it. Suspicious. Already looks suspicious. It's a shape. We're talking about lines. It does not make a difference because sometimes functions look funny. So looking at this, if I went up and down at all points of this beautiful diamond, we would see that we went through it twice. So this would clearly not a function. And I'm going to spell function right for you guys because that we can say vertical line test, VLT, if you want to shorten it. passes the figure 2 times. That's okay. Let's take another one. Let's do this one together. 5. All right. Suspicious looking, right? Not a line. We've been talking about lines, but this is not a line, but functions come in all different shapes and sizes. So now we have to do the vertical line test. I'm going to scan it. Nope. Still good. 1, 1, 1. So at all points, I did the vertical line test. That's my motion up and down with my little mouse thingy. And it only passed through once. So therefore, it is a function. That's it, guys. You got this. I trust you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email, and good luck.